Wow. Just wow. So, yeah, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia, Chapter 161. And I gotta say, this was a sad, very bittersweet chapter. Honestly, Nighteye dies in this episode, in this chapter. Wow. Just seeing him actually, I guess it was kind of expected to happen, considering how severe his injuries were, but just the way this death was handled, I can give nothing but props to Horikoshi in this episode. But yeah, like I said, this chapter was very bittersweet this week, and I think one theme that carried throughout was closure for Night Eye, and how and who he's changed into through this arc. And if you really think about it, from the time he was first introduced, he was stern, rigid, and through his powers, he had no belief in anything or anyone other than the future he predicted with his quirk. But slowly but surely, he began to realize the future is always open to change, and open to change. And it's interesting because even though Izuku was the one who developed his powers, was the one who developed his powers in the end. The more control of his powers in this arc, through this arc, I feel that Night Eye kind of went through a lot of. I think Night Eye was actually more the star of this arc than Izuku was in a way, and people can look at that as good or bad, but if you really think about it, it really just showed how much he's changed from the very beginning of his introduction to now, because he went from being stern, cold, and rigid to not trusting anyone to actually opening up and realizing that, okay, maybe the future isn't completely free of not being changed. Maybe there are those who can actually help. Yeah, just Night Eye opening up on his deathbed about all this, that was Night Eye opening up on his deathbed like that was just him just pouring out all his regret about how there were many things outside of failing to save All Might. That I know All Might isn't dead yet, but just there were many things outside of failing to find a way in order to save this All Might, his friend, that he wanted to accomplish in life. But now yet at the same time, there was also with even though there was a lot of regret that night I felt, there was also a sense of relief I could picture in his voice in his particular this particular chapter, almost like he even though he might have not been able to accomplish anything, he feels satisfied knowing that there are heroes that can accomplish what he could not. And it's actually ironic, I guess, in a way. Even though he felt like he didn't accomplish anything, he did still accomplish a great deal by, by being the teacher, by being the teacher to Mirio, and by being the teacher to Mirio. Let's face facts, aside from Nighteye, he's also been one of the major stars and breakout stars of this arc. And yeah, just he taught Mirio everything he knows, and now Mirio is able to live on and pass his knowledge on as well. So yeah. And but yeah, I think in the end, even though he has many, even though he has many regrets, I think he feels satisfied enough knowing that he can pass his torch on, and he can and that he can and that he can put his trust knowing in the heroes who can accomplish what he couldn't change, who can accomplish and can change what he couldn't, I guess, in a way. So yeah, it was, and just seeing All Might, Mirio, and Izuku there with Night Eye in Night Eye's last moments was just amazing and heartbreaking. Like I said before, just it was good closure, I think, for him and All Might. He when he said, I've accepted the fact that you're willing to fight fate, and I'm okay with that. So just that scene alone was just of Night Eye's, of All Might saying, I'm willing to fight fate, and you can fight fate too, and just him dying there was just damn. But yeah, this was just like one of those great chapters that really makes me say I want to see this animated. I want to see this scene animated. Like just wow. But yeah. Now 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 the one thing I'm curious about right now is I wonder what's next for Mirio because with his quirk gone, it might be like I mean I imagine with I'm of course I know there's probably going to be a shonen cliche somewhere down the road where all these rules and all these regulations are are essentially basically are essentially basically are essentially basically are where all these rules and regulations regarding pro heroes are essentially tossed out the window and basically they lax up and they lax up a bit, but by the end of the series of what can define a hero, I meant like I imagine there is going to be a change, an eventual change of the rules and regulations of what it means to be a hero, but honestly, like I'm really curious as to what Mirio is going to do now in this present situation, because he, from what I know, Mirio is definitely is Izuku's senior in terms of being a student. So that means that Mirio is going to be graduating soon and move into the pro hero world. So with Mirio's quirk gone though, like it might be hard for him to register as a pro hero, I imagine, and at least when the time comes, I guess. So honestly, like there is one thing I am interested in seeing. There honestly, like as far as where Mirio goes from here, like there is one thing I'm interested in seeing, which is for those who don't know, there's actually a spin-off manga called My Hero Academia. I think it's my 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 Hero Academia spin-off manga called that's entitled that focuses around the vigilante part of being a hero. So yeah, like so, and there is a group of main characters in that particular spin-off manga. So I think this would actually be a very cool point in order in the story to almost work in a crossover with the vigilante spin-off manga, and maybe have Mirio join up with them as a sort of Batman type hero. Because a lot of people have, of course, predicted that Mirio might end up be that Mirio. This isn't the end of Mirio's hero career, of course, and I believe that too, but it might be interesting to see him become more of a Batman type hero in which he just uses gadgets, devices, and natural fighting skill. Because I think that is one thing for me that is kind of lacking in My Hero Academia is I feel there isn't enough of an emphasis on the type of heroes that don't have quirks. Like that's one of the things I think that why Batman is such a popular character in DC is because he doesn't have any superpowers. He just has smarts, he just has intelligence, natural fighting ability, gadgets, and devices. Those are the key things that make up Batman, and those are essentially the things that, and he uses those things in essence to become a hero. So he doesn't have any like special powers or anything, and that's what makes people draw to him is because he is, even though he is technically a superhero, he's relatable in the sense where he's the most human superhero, and I'm hoping in a way that well, I really almost want Mirio to become that type. I almost want Mirio to become that type of hero now. I want him to use his natural fighting abilities, or and any other type of not any type of non of a non quirk related source, like again gadgets, devices, and whatnot, in order to fight now. Like I think it would be cool and a bit of a change up from definitely what we've seen up to this point of My Hero Academia. Because yeah, I do feel that we do need to work away a bit from the total emphasis we've been getting on the quirks. And yeah, I really want to see what is going to become of Mirio's career as a hero now that he doesn't have any particular any quirk at all. So yeah. Now, Another thing that happened in this episode is we pretty much addressed the whole situation with Eri and how she's been knocked out and whatnot, and she's in a bit of a she's in the ICU or in surgery, getting out or in recovery right now. And I have to say, the way the whole Eri situation and the way it was explained of what's going to happen to Eri now, I really, really fucking dig how they did that. Like, I really like how they handled the whole situation because in other let I don't think we should really even kid ourselves. In most shonen cases, they would have just let her roam free and clear and give her to, I don't know, like a foster home or something like that. But in this case, Horikoshi actually addressed it in a way that was very realistic, in which the whole world recognized her, in which they recognized her power is for. They recognize the whole world recognized that for Ares' power, for lack of a better word, is dangerous. It's fucking it's so dangerous that you can't even really it can't even be controlled. Not definitely not by. I mean, that pretty much not by Eri herself, and it's dangerous to let anyone else have it, especially the villain side. So in that sense, I really like how, and it's just not safe for her to interact with people. And I guess in that sense, it honestly could be considered downright cruel, but at the same time, like I said, it does feel very realistic and bittersweet end to her story. Like, Eri just it's it's unfortunate, but unless someone basically gives Eri that gives Eri one of the quirk drugs, she's just it's just not safe for her to interact with other people. It is harsh and it's very fucking cruel. But when you really get down to it, and when you really look at our reactions to in order to situations like this, it is the best situation it is the best situation for, unfortunately, Eri to be in, no matter what we think of it. So yeah, but yeah, guys. What more can I say? This episode, it was a very, like I said before, it was very sad and bittersweet episode. It had all the great. It definitely took it. It definitely took turns that I just loved. I honestly loved about it. But but yeah, guys. Just what did you think about this episode, or did you get as emotional as I did? Because I know I did. Did you get as emotional as I did? Because this episode was just, yeah, sad and bittersweet. But yeah, just tell me what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.